or what?
Probably a few will come on.
Should we go back to a little bit?
Did someone post on the daf chat that you're on now?
No, I don't think so.
Hey, Parrots, you on?
I'll do that.
I'll post now.
Okay. Hey, good night. What? Like a glutton for punishment. Got back Thursday night. Now I'm on my way to New York with my son for bar mitzvah.
You're on the way to New York?
Yep.
How long are you gonna be there for?
Part of a day. Well, most of the day, I think.
Interesting. Okay, and then back?
And then back tomorrow night and Ritz Hashem. I'm at least half crazy.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes me an honorary Stein.
Yeah, okay. That's, I don't know if that's sure if that's a praise, but all right. Anyways,
Why,
okay, so let's go because I'm gonna have to board this flight and all right. So let's learn a little bit new, Shine. Yeah, so we're up to the Mishnah. A guy marries a wife with the condition that she's no Nadarim. Right? Meaning she's got no baggage, as they say. So Benimtzu Allah Nadarim, and then he finds out that she has Nadarim and Mekadesh, so the whole marriage is out. Right? The whole marriage is out because it was Kedusha Toys. Kansa Stam. If he married her Stam, he didn't say anything. Benimtzu Allah Nadarim, and we find that she has Nadarim, then Tete Shaloi Biksuba. He needs to still have a get, but he doesn't need a kesuba. I'm saying she doesn't get the kesuba because it's expected that a woman should not have nadarim. But again, she needs a get. In the first case, she doesn't need a get. In the second case, she needs a get. Let's say on the condition she has no mumen. So obviously mumen he could see, but maybe she has hidden mumen. She's not even married because she had mumen and he married her on the condition she doesn't. Konsa stam. And if he gets married to stam and then he finds that she has women, then teitze beloy shaloi b'ksuba, she goes out, she needs a get, but no ksuba. And then this last line is kol hamumen hapsulim b'kahanim paislin b'nashim. Any women that are puzzled by kehanim are also puzzled by women. So, meaning, how do you define a mum? Is a pimple a mum? Is I don't know, scar a mum? Limping? All these type of things, right? So, that's going to be totally in kehanim, which is interesting because a kohen who's a lefty is a mum. So does that mean that if a guy marries a woman who's a lefty, then he could say, "Hey, I didn't want a lefty," right? Okay, we'll have to see that in the next day's daf. Okay, so then, but basically the same two halachas. If he got rooked, then he just walks out on the marriage. If he didn't get rooked, but the assumption is that a woman's not supposed to have women, then he goes out, but not but he needs a get. Fine. So the Gemara says, we have the same exact mission in Kedushin. Right? So what do we need two mishnayos for this? The Gemara it says, Keshubos and here we needed it because to teach you that the din of the kesuba. Does she get a kesuba? Does she not need a kesuba? So once you're teaching about the kesuba, so you already mentioned, we threw in the kedushin in there too. Hasam kedushin it's But there in Kedushin, we needed to teach about whether they're married or not. Tana Keshubos are to Kedushin. So they taught Keshubos are to Kedushin. Right? So basically, it's the Gemara is answering yes. We didn't need to have two cases. But once in Keshubos, we were mentioning about the Kesuba, we just threw in Kedushin, and the same thing in Kedushin. What type of Nedarim are they talking about? That if she made a neder, she's not eating meat. She's not going to drink wine. And she's not going to wear clothing, colorful clothing. Right? So Rashi says, but these things are going to make her not attracted to her husband. Right? Which is quite interesting. Imagine a man is going to be upset that his wife doesn't eat meat. That makes her very unattractive to him. After eating all this meat on the Shabbos, I could hear it, right? But I was like, she's got to eat the meat. You don't eat the meat, right? Or drink the wine, so then it's no good. Okay, so since it's going to make her,
you don't have anything in common.
Yeah, but if it was me, I would say I would want all the meat for myself. I'm very happy if my wife doesn't eat the meat personally, but okay, that's the way Rashi says it.
Even back then, the last thing anyone wanted was a vegan.
True. You could hear that, right? Yeah. Well, that's because of all the baggage that it comes with. I don't think it's the vegan itself. Okay. Anyway. By the way, my daughter doesn't eat flesheks. My daughter does not eat flesheks.
I got her to eat flesheks.
Yeah, once. You got it once. Yeah. But she didn't anyway, so Tanya Amud nefesh. Right, what are the nedarim? The nedarim that cause pain to the nefesh. So Rabba was wondering, hey, which case are we going on with these Tanaim and nedarim? Ilema Reisha. If you say we're talking about the Reisha, meaning again, our Mishnah had two cases. One case of where he actually made conditions with the woman that she's not going to have woman, and then we had the second case where he got married stam and he was very unhappy about the woman. Or actually, I'm sorry, we're talking about the Dharam. So Ilay Maresha, we're talking about the Resha, keeping the kakapid. If he's makbid on something, if he will call me nami, then anything. Meaning, if he came into the marriage and made a tanai that I don't want you making the Dharam, and she makes a neder to I don't know, not drive. So then that's he didn't want it. So why can't he just walk out? So it can't be that these three specific scenarios about not eating meat and wine and not wearing colored clothing apply to the Reisha. Ella Sefer must be going on the Sefer, right? Which is stam movement. It's really going on the Reisha. When we do the kapti ba'enshi, things that normal people are makbid on, have a kapeda, then it's considered kapeda. Maybe the loy kapti ba'enshi, but people that most people wouldn't care, loy have a kapeda, then him being makbid, he's the oddball. So therefore, it's not going to be a problem, right? Meaning, and these are the things that I guess normal people would be makbid on, right? Yeah, fine. So itmar. Now we have the Machlokes that it's going to carry us to the next block. So itmar kitchal tanai. Let's say he got kiddush. Remember, there's two stages of marriage: it's kiddushin, and then around a year later they have the nisuin. Right? We do both, and at the same time. Kiddushin is the harayat mekudeshes li, and the nisuin is the sheva brachos under the chuppah. Right, so that they used to do a year apart. So when he did the kiddushin part, he made on the tonight. He said, "I'm only giving you this ring if you don't have any nedarim or mumin." But then when it came to the nisuin, he didn't reiterate it. Right, so it comes to stam, and then he just married her stam. He didn't reiterate the nisuin. So what does that mean? So Rabba mar tzricha menuget. Then if that's the case, and he's unhappy with her nedarim, then he needs a get because he didn't reiterate it. He can't just walk out. Shmuel Amar ain't a get. He doesn't need a get. Right, so that's a Machlokes where the kiddushin was with the tanai with the conditions and the nisuin was not. So the Machlokes Rav and Shmuel. So Amar Abaya on Tamar Aleph now. Don't say that the reason for Rav is kivan shekansa stam, since he married her stam, achuli achle l'tanai, means he was Michael, meaning when he got engaged, he had these tanaim. A year later, already forgot about it, and he didn't care. So that's not the reason why Rav says he needs a get. Right? A man does not want his bia to be considered not in marriage, right? So, meaning when he decided to go through with the marriage and to sleep with her, is that's considered a marriage, because he would not have ever slept with her unless he planned on keeping her. Because if he slept with her and he didn't plan on keeping her, then that bia retroactively turns into znus, and nobody's going to want to make it into his nus. So therefore, he would rather be married to her and get divorced than to have his bia as his nus. Right? Yeah. So therefore, it would be a kedusha, not a nesuin, though. It would be a kedusha, not a suin. So again, he's saying that Rab's reason is not because he was baichel by the time he got to marriage. No, it's because he's still upset about it. So, but he's going to do the kedushin now, because he's saying, I don't want my bia to be a bia's nus. So when it says we already disagreed with this once before. The itmar, this is a case in we're bringing up a little bit of Yevamis, katana shalei miyun. So again, the rule of miyun is that you have a katana who lost her father. So her brothers, or her mother, or both, marry her off. So she can, up until 12 and a half, she can just walk out. Right? So let's say it's a katana, shalei miyun, she didn't do miyun, big dealer, and then she became over bas mitzvah. Amda v'nises, and then she went and married somebody else, right? Without ever getting divorced. So she didn't walk out of the marriage on a katana, which she was allowed to do. She got married to somebody else. So now the question is, what's the story with this marriage? So Rav Amar ain't tzricha get misheni. Rav says she does not need a get from the second guy, because she was legitimately married to the first guy, and therefore no man can go marry a woman. The marriage just doesn't work. Right? Again, Rav holds she's married to the first guy, and therefore the marriage to the second guy just didn't work. Shmuel Amar tzricha get misheni. Shmuel says that she does need a get from the second guy. Why? Because ein adam isa bilasa bilas nus, and when she had bia with this second guy, meaning the first guy, she didn't care about, right?
Yeah, but I don't understand. Isn't it issur?
What?
Well, isn't she considered an issur?
No, she's not.
Why?
Because the first husband sleeping with her after, meaning they never did kedushin. I mean, in nesuin, right? So the first husband staying with her is, what did he have in mind to marry her when he was with her after she was bas mitzvah or not? Right? So when he was with her, he was assuming that he was married to her from the first marriage, right? But so Mamela, there was nothing that ever went on between them after she was over bas mitzvah, right? So Mamela, she never had a complete marriage. She really never had the marriage of the first one, right? So that's, you get what I'm saying? I mean, that's not what I'm saying, but that's right? Meaning, miyun, she's still, again, even Shmuel is going to be murdered that she can't stay with the second husband. She's married mid derabanan. Miyun is a kedusha mid derabanan, not a derais, right? So she's married to this guy.
Rob holds it's not a marriage at all, because she's still married. You can't go and marry somebody else.
Right? But how did she get married to this guy, to the first husband? Once they slept together, after she was 12. So then it's considered like
he would consider
as
her an
an issur. Correct. So the second guy is nothing.
Correct, but it's still an issur. Shmuel saying she's not an issur.
Shmuel is saying she's only an issur mid derabanan. So since she's an Eishes derabanan, she's going to need a get from the second guy too. Meaning she can't go back to the second guy, and she's going to need, I guess she's going to need a get from both, but she certainly needs to get from the second guy because she's only married with the derabanan. Right? Because the guy, you don't have in mind, the Machlokes in Rabba and Shmuel is when this first husband was with her after she was bas mitzvah, did he have in mind kiddushin or not? If he never had in mind kiddushin, so then it never upgraded it to a deraisa. So since it never upgraded to a deraisa, she's only married with the rabbanan. So then the second guy that was together with her has a kiddushin. So anyway, it's the same case, whether the second guy is the same or not. So tzricha, so we need both cases. So if you're talking about by miyun by he come a Rav mishum deleka tana. There, Rav says that he does plan on being together with her since there was never any tanai. Alabaha the ika tanai tana, but here where he made a tanai with it that she shouldn't have the darim. Shmuel. He might be made the Shmuel that he was not together with her for kedushin. Be it my baha kamer Shmuel. There Shmuel said that he doesn't mean to have kedushin because there was tanaim. Alabaha, but in the case where she was with miyun, maybe he'd be made to Rav. So tzricha. That's what we need to. We need both. We need both cases, right? Fine. How much time do you have? So slichas. When slichas? 10-2?
I have the 5-2.
5-2. That's late, no?
But I gotta go to shul for it, so I'm gonna leave in like 1:45.
Right. Okay, so this next kasha is a whole shak of attire, so I guess let's stop over here. Okay, we won't be so far behind tomorrow. Yeah. All right. Fine. A good tvach, everybody, and a good
Thank
year.
you.
And if tefillah should be niskabel.
Amen.
Hey.